your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
Hello, everybody. Brian Engelman. We are live here at Politicon in Los Angeles, California, 2018. I am joined with An0maly. An0maly, how you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. It's always good to be here. Always good to be around you. Not just a good news reporter and a news CEO, but a good friend.
My buddy. You were introduced through a mutual friend a while ago, and we have kind of been on similar journeys, similar paths, living in Los Angeles, behind enemy lines, if you will. What has your experience been living in Los Angeles, trying to communicate a message of love and individual liberty and freedom in a place that maybe doesn't embrace it that much?
I'm not going to lie. I've only gotten love. Like when people stop me on the street, it's been like 30, 40, 50 times. It's always been for the love. No one's really bothered me. The worst I got was actually today. Someone came up and he just said, "Hey, An0maly, I used to follow you and I unfollowed you. I found you kind of hypocritical." See, only even slightly negative back. And I was like, that's fine. I don't know. But it's actually been great because I guess maybe it's my approach. Maybe it's the fact that I don't go out and seek it. But I find that there's a lot of good people. I'll give you an example of how real the silent majority is. I went to, I'm not going to say where, but a certain hotel, club situation, you know, high-end. No, but all jokes aside, I went twice, and twice I got stopped by two different security guards. One was black, one was Hispanic. They both said, "An0maly, I love your videos. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you." The security guards, you know, the people working on street level. And I got slightly threatened, like, "Oh, An0maly, I don't like what you're doing, man." It was the DJ who happened to be whiter than me. Not that it matters, I love all people. But he was the one, it's like the guy upstairs, you know what I'm saying, the elites, the entertainment elites all mad, but the people on the floor, and that's the type of response I've gotten. I feel like the people who really control the media and the people really rolling the ball feel that way, but there's a huge silent majority, even on the biggest news stations, of people who are afraid to speak out. And I find that California, even if you look here, there's, so many people, diverse, race, religion, gender, stories, perspectives, and it's not the narratives you would find. So I've only seen love, and I think California has a lot of potential, and it's a great place.
So when you see that people are afraid to speak out, and you have Maxine Waters calling for, we need to terrorize people while they're out trying to eat dinner. There's Donald Trump goes out and says some things that are a little indefensible sometimes. I saw your skit talking about, what was it, a Trump assistant? Come on.
Horseface, you sure it's 6 a.m. in the morning? You sure you want to call her Horseface? Oh, yes, Horseface. It's a very good name. That was a horrible Trump impression. It was more like a Bernie, but you already know.
It was a great, horrible impression. It was a funny skit, but, while Trump does say some things that are a little indefensible and kind of silly, what the Democrats are doing, encouraging this mob mentality, what's the solution to this? Is this something that we're just going to have to get used to, or are people constantly going to be attacked for their political views? Like, do you have any hope?
Oh, yeah, I'm full of hope, like Obama 2008. It's all hope here. But I think, in general, I think there's bad people on both sides, but I think that the Democrats and the left, what used to be really good about them and what used to draw me to their side more was the fact that they were loving, compassionate, open, and for all people, and I found Republicans traditionally to be more stubborn and narrow-minded, and I feel like it's kind of reversed where the Republicans have given way a little bit and been a little more open-minded to perspectives, even things like gay marriage, you rarely hear them even care about. And the left has gotten smaller, more angry, more hateful. And instead of realizing that that's why they lost the election and giving Trump billions of dollars of free airtime, they continuously give Trump billions of dollars of free airtime. And I'm like, hey, what do you think about making a point and making sense and being nice? And they're like, what if we started kicking people? And you're like, so I have hope, but it's I think they're going to lose big in November. Even out here, I saw a liberal friend and they were like, oh, I didn't expect the Trump supporter to look like that. Because just to be honest, it doesn't matter to me, but 50, 60, 70, 80% of people who are stopping me are black or Latino Trump supporters. It's not all white people like they say, and there's hundreds of black and Hispanic Trump supporters here. So to see the liberal I didn't know that exists. It's well, yeah, because you're not watching real news. You're watching fake news. You're not watching New American Media with Brian Engelman, folks.
Well, we just talked with Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. I know you had to sit down with him recently. Him, Candace Owens, Kanye.
The great black hope. He calls Trump the great white hope. So.
I know, he did in our interview, too.
The great black troll.
The great black troll.
The great black troll.
How important do you think it is for prominent black conservatives to be speaking out to just shatter this preconceived notion of what a political voting bloc is supposed to look like. How trailblazing are these efforts for them to speak out where maybe they're not feeling a lot of love from their own people in the process? How important is it?
Jesse's a rare soul, man. He's a wild boy. But I think it's very important, and I think it's very important for every race, religion, and gender to have intelligent discussion, and especially I think, Black American conservative revolution, you could say, has been incredible. Jesse's been doing it. I saw a video of him 20 years ago. I didn't realize he went back that far, but Jesse's a real activist. Jesse's been doing it for a while. To see Candace Owens and Kanye West break through the mainstream circuit and get through to a different crowd, it's been a great year. And the backlash, like, I've never been called a white supremacist by so many people who are whiter than me in my life. Like, people that don't have an ounce of Hispanic or anything, calling black people and myself, like, it's the weirdest thing. But it's been a really great year. Jesse's doing his thing, and it's nice to see people breaking out of the mind control molds.
Well, tell us about your platform, what you're doing on your shows, because you're branching out, you're doing new projects, you know, kind of getting a lot going on. A lot of it is through social media, and there's been an attack on people that don't fit the script on social media. So kind of tell us about, like, what angles you're taking, and if you have any concern about the big tech giants, the big social media giants, and their efforts to silence voices that don't fit their preconceived notions. So
one angle I take is that one, but just sometimes. Normally I just kind of sit down, but I think my angle has been always to just be as chill as possible, because I do know they're censoring, but also that's kind of just my normal persona. When I'm not playing basketball, then I'm super aggressive and intense, but when I'm just chilling and drinking a coffee, I'm pretty chill. But yeah, the tech censorship is alarming on multiple levels. I think that they're super far left. They don't want dissenting opinions. They're programming AI algorithms to, like, follow the leftist agenda, and they're like, oh, we don't know how it happened, because you made it happen. So it is a lot of stuff, but also I do want to say, just to be fair, we can't be like the little boy who cried wolf, because I understand social media very well, and a lot of time there's enough censorship to go around. So I don't like when conservatives play the victim card. It happens sometimes, and they do something dumb. Oh my God! But it's like, dude, yes, you can do whatever you want on Facebook, but if you're cursing and screaming all the time, Facebook probably doesn't want you there. But don't get me wrong, Facebook is censoring people for absolutely no reason. So just don't give them a reason. Because then if we become the boy who cried wolf, we become the liberal who says everyone's racist and sexist. There's more than enough tech censorship to go around. So it's like, that's what makes me nervous among the censorship, is the fact that everyone's so wild. That's why the elites get away with everything, because we ruin everything. We do. And I'm not saying just conservatives, but like, so yes, it's a concern. AI, algorithms, Elon Musk turning into a robot, Jeff Bezos swallowing people whole. These are things you got to think about.
Okay, two things, and I'm going to let you get going. Two funny stories from the past couple of weeks. Elizabeth Warren and the NPC. So let's start with Elizabeth Warren real quick. It was one of these weird boomerang stunts that came back around in a way that I don't know if they saw this coming or not. Just what's your thoughts on this? Because I caught your show that day. You were having a real good time with it, with your hat on, doing your thing.
Warren, yeah.
An0maly Warren. I mean, this is the lengths that they're going to get into the divide and conquer of the racial politics. So what was your take on all this?
I thought it was so funny, because the first thing is I thought she was going to win the day, because Trump did say he was going to pay $1 million to a charity if she was Native American, and then I saw her video in the MSNBC spin, and I was like, uh-oh, Trump might owe $1 million, and Trump's like, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. But then I broke down the article and it said 1/5/16 Native American, and then they changed it to 1/124. I'm just like, I'm a quarter Puerto Rican, I'm a quarter to 1/8 Puerto Rican, depending on, an eighth to a quarter. And even like a quarter eighth, I'm not marching around like, oh, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not really, like, that's an eighth. You're talking about 1/1024th. I mean, I'm what, 100 times, over 100 times more? It's maybe 200 times more. It was the funniest fail I've ever seen. It was the funniest, 0 to 100. The fact that she even thought that was a good idea, you really have to and she's one of maybe the most popular people on the left. You really have to question what's going on there. I'm not going to support the Clippers if they're 0-500 or something. I can't support Elizabeth Warren when she's taking possibly the biggest L of the year.
That was a pretty strong L. And then the NPCs, the non-player character. This thing blew up, the left can't meme, that's kind of the joke. But this NPC meme really kind of nails a lot of what's going on. What's your take on this? Because I think it's one of the most important things that happened. One of the funniest and most telling things. And maybe explain it for them, too, because I just setting it up.
I think it's hilarious being someone who plays video games. The NPC is a non-playable character. It's the person in the video game. You're playing Pokemon. He stands there. He's got a catchphrase or two. He walks back and forth in a straight line. So it's basically the non-playable character that pretty much has no like free flow. And it's been made fun of the left. And I think it's very, very accurate. I think there's definitely some robots on the right too, but leftist ideology has become, I go for the best anti-Trump information, I go to the right because they're questioning things that make sense. The left literally has turned into NPCs where it's just like, what do you think of Dr. Ford? And then I say, what about the kids at the border? And I'm like, what about both sides at Charlottesville? And you're like, yo, are we really having this conversation again? It's not that I want, but like, it's like nothing they say adds up. Like, I'll talk about Charlottesville or Dr. Ford, but then I say what I think and I'm like, hey, I'm waiting for more evidence. And they're like, you don't believe all women survivors? I'm like, did you see the story of the 9-year-old, black kid who got accused of sexual assault? It was fake. The cop who got accused of sexual assault was fake. Sean King retweeted it 50,000 times and had to apologize. Women lie. I don't know what to say. Men lie. No, I don't. I'm not going to overrule the whole justice system. And they're like, and then their face goes gray and they turn into an NPC. And it's like, program not acceptable. I don't know how to free think or have critical thinking skills. And you're just like, oh my God.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
So
Yeah,
the best way to stop the NPC meme is to stop acting like an NPC.
Good point. Good point. All right, let's wrap this up because there's a few other panels I want to check out. I know you have some other things you're going to as well.
I got to do yoga. So.
You got to do some yoga today?
Yeah, just in the middle of the floor.
Well, here, you do that, and we can talk about downward-facing An0maly while we wrap this up. Downward-facing An0maly. Tell people where they can find out how to follow you more, any more stuff that you have on the horizon, projects you're working on, places to stay in touch with what you're doing, because you do daily, many times a week, daily content, 5 times or whatever. What's the best way to stay in touch with you as you continue to stretch?
Find me in your hood creeping with people like this guy, Brian. No, you can find me on Instagram at DreamRare, DreamRare, search An0maly, An0maly, and I might build a Pinterest to post pictures of butterflies. So
Pinterest.
I'm thinking about it, but you never know.
How about
it's actually a good platform. There's a lot of women for the marketers out there. There's a lot of women on Pinterest, yeah.
How about yoga poses on Pinterest?
Would work.
All right, cool. An0maly, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you,
To be continued.
God bless Brian Engelman. He's the reason that I was here last year. Brian gave me a press pass. This was one of the best events I've been to. I wouldn't have been there without Brian. Brian changed the course of my life forever. God put Brian here, put me here, and I'm forever grateful to Brian and New American Media.
But you on the serious tip, we are behind enemy lines.
No, that's not true. I have no enemies. I don't know. Like the liberal that doesn't agree with me, I could play croquet with him or racquetball. You know what I'm saying?
No, but we are people that are thinking. We're trying to challenge what's being force-fed, and when similar energies find each other, you just got to help each other out. There's no sense in trying to compete for it. You team up and you help when you can.
We're behind frenemy lines.
Behind frenemy lines. We'll end it there. Thank you very much. To be continued. Oh, your hands are full. All right, so what's on your agenda for the rest of it?
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.